want to talk about the loop of love some more. The give and take reciprocal loop. Hi, I'm Angel, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. I think often people get stuck on one side of a loop or the other, either giving a lot or taking a lot. And we forget that it's a loop, and that we can only really freely give to the extent that we really learn to freely accept, to receive. And maybe that's just tricky math. I don't know. Sounds good on paper to me, though. And in my experience, it's true. I think there's levels. So it doesn't mean it doesn't have to do with like the value of stuff. It has to do with the value to you, the impact to you, the significance to you. So before you can really give a heartfelt gift, really think through put yourself in somebody else's shoes and come up with a gift that they maybe wouldn't get for themselves that you know would delight them. You have to first be willing to accept that from other people. And it's tricky because it doesn't mean accept all gifts. And in fact, I think a lot of gift giving that's kind of my point, is sometimes people give gifts like out of guilt or sense of obligation or social, trying to impress people. And that's the same way they're receiving gifts. They're judging, how much it's worth or what they owe in return, or, how significant it is and what that means about the relationship, instead of just receiving a gift from somebody. And gift giving and receiving is a tricky thing. In some cultures, it's okay to give a gift away that somebody gives you, and in others it's not. In some cultures it's an insult not to accept a gift, and in some cultures it's an insult to give a gift that that isn't really needed. So I understand all those aspects, and I'm not really talking about those cultural nuances so much. I'm really talking about energetically the loop. So let's take it out of gift giving, and I like to think of it as far as love, but let's take it out of like romantic love and take it to unconditional love. I like to use pets as a good example for people, because most people can relate to that deep feeling of love that you might have for a non-human animal that's not tied in any kind of story about a relationship or any kind of sexual attraction or any kind of complicated, convoluted anything. It's just pure, unconditional love. Most of us, and if you haven't, go out there and start petting some animals. Good grief, where you been all your life? But most of us have felt that unconditional love. I know some people haven't. I've met people in their I met one 90-year-old one time who'd never had a dog and never really had that intimate connection with another being, as far as I could tell, and that made me sad. I think it's a lot of opportunity missed. Anyway, all that to say that if you think about that unconditional love that you can experience with a non-human animal or a human animal, but again, I'm just taking it out of that realm for the sake of understanding, perhaps. Then you can see how it's like when you pet a cat, the cat's body meets you. There's a reciprocal loop. Or when you scratch a dog behind the ear and he leans into it, there's a loop going on of feeding, and both the giver and the receiver are giving and receiving at the same time. It's love. It's a love loop. And that's really what I'm talking about, that energetic escalation, let's call it, of that opening, I guess, of exchange and the leveling up of that opening of exchange. And the more we learn to give and to receive, the more that levels up. I don't know if I'm articulating it very well. I'll probably take another stab at it later. Let me know if you got some thoughts, words of wisdom, anything to say about that in the comments. As always, there's other ways to connect to me and support me in the description. And until next time, I wish you peace, progress, possibilities, laughter, lightheartedness, love, loops, reciprocation, peaceful conflict management, yes, and resolution. Don't forget to play every day.